Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, we're going to learn a little bit about what happens when a fat acceptance activist goes to a foreign country and gets a massage. They seemed to think that they had it bad in the United States. Are they as accepting of obesity in other countries as we are here in the United States? Let's find out.
I've decided I'm no longer allowing people to make me feel bad about my body ever again.
Okay, I thought we already decided that. We're deciding that again?
So I'm currently in Bulgaria. I'm going to get a massage. And Bulgarians, they don't have a filter. And they all love to talk about your body, you know?
So you're in Bulgaria, you decided to go for a massage, and let's see what happens.
So I'm going to get a massage, and the lady, the first thing she asked me is, so have you been fat since birth? Or I was like, yes, I have.
Have you been fat since birth? Translation, did you continue to have your fat baby body all the way through your life, all the way into adulthood is what she's saying? Like, you've been fat since birth, as in, like, you still have the build of a baby.
Thank you for asking. And we've been making small talk, and then she asks, like, do you not want to lose weight? Is that it?
Oh. You see, that's funny when you go to another country, and they're a lot more honest than they are here in the United States. You see, you thought that we were violently fat-phobic here in the United States, when in fact everybody's been nothing but nice to you and tried to spare your feelings. Now that you go to a foreign country where people are actually honest, you get to learn the truth of the matter. If you'd been living in Bulgaria for the past 10 years, you probably would have lost weight by now. I'm not saying that you should go around bullying anybody, by the way. I'm just saying, like, if everybody were honest with everybody all the time, I think a lot of us would change a lot of our behaviors, you know?
And obviously, she is digging into my skin, massaging me right now, so I can't, like, exactly even leave to avoid the situation.
And you also can't be like, how dare you? That's very fat-phobic, because then she'll, like, just pinch you. She'll just pinch your back.
And so I'm obviously uncomfortable because there is someone touching my body actively while talking to me about it in a negative way.
I definitely understand your perspective. That must really suck. Somebody's touching your body and they're like, this is gross. Like, yeah. Like, okay, can we stop with the massage then? Like, I don't want somebody touching me and telling me how gross I am at the same time. I fully understand you. I also understand the perspective of the masseuse. You know, they're like, oh, great, I get to try to get through all this to get to the muscles underneath, you know? Like, in order to massage your muscles, they have to go through all these extra layers just to get there.
And in that moment, I decided I didn't want to be the uncomfortable one. I wanted to make her uncomfortable. And I said, yeah, when I was younger, I did want to lose weight. I would go on diets, and then I would gain it all back, and then some.
And then she said, bullshit, big girl. You lied to me. Get out. Then she called her brother Nikolai, and he came in and broke both your legs with a bamboo stick. Why did I say all that? This didn't take place in Russia. Did you get a massage at a Russian mafia place, from the sounds of my description?
And I told her I decided that I didn't want to spend the rest of my life trying to lose weight and living with the purpose of being thin.
And she said, you Americans are overindulgent. You leave now.
And I said since I stopped trying to lose weight, I have been more confident and happy with my body than I ever had been before.
Why is it all out of sync? Ever since you stopped trying to lose weight, you've been happier and more confident than ever before. Is that how that works? When you stop trying to do something, your confidence builds? Like, I was learning guitar and then I gave up. Now my confidence and my guitar abilities are top-notch. I never really started loving myself until I gave up on things that I was trying to achieve. Who knew it was that easy? Just give up on stuff and then you'll love yourself more. Remember that instrument you wanted to learn but you gave up on? No, you don't beat yourself up about that. You'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, I gave up. Go me.
And she switched topics almost immediately.
Bruh.
Now it's time for a bonus clip from a creator that we've never seen on this channel before. Let's check her out. Alright, she's going to be responding to this comment that says, if it was a good thing to point out how crushing your waist is dangerous, then how is it bad to point out how health issues like obesity is dangerous? Is dangerous? Who refers to weight loss as crushing your waist? That's weird. I honestly appreciate the aggressiveness of this weight loss terminology. We're not going to lose weight, we're going to crush your waist. Sorry, I got a little intense there. I got a little worked up. I'm ready to lift a frickin' weight.
So I myself do not see the similarities between crushing.
I loved how she called him out on the phrase crushing. She did it all aggressive and shit.
Your waist and living in a body that is not acceptably thin.
All right, you know, So far, I like you. You're funny.
I don't see it, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. The health issues that you talk about that come along with obesity, the thing about them is those health issues do not only affect fat people.
But they do affect fat people. They may not only affect fat people, but they do affect basically everyone who is fat. So it's a moot point that you're trying to make. People who are not obese have heart attacks all the time. Okay, sure. However, people that are obese have heart attacks at a much higher rate. You're much more likely to get it if you're obese. Okay, now we're making sense. Many people who are not obese may have joint problems, sure. But if you are obese, almost all of you have joint problems. You get it? You see where I'm going with this? Some people may get lung cancer and never smoke a day in their life. But if you do smoke, you're a hell of a lot more likely to get lung cancer. Are we picking up what I'm laying down?
There is no medical issue that has been mentioned that does not also affect and afflict thin people.
There is a medical condition that is exclusive to obese people, and it's called obesity because it is a medical condition unto itself. All of that tissue is not dormant. When you have an excess of adipose tissue on your body, fat, it is not dormant tissue. It is hormonally active. So if you're a man and you have an excess of fat on your body, you're going to have more estrogen. If you're a woman and you have an excess of fat on your body, you're going to have more androgens. And it's not just your hormones that it affects, but if it was just your hormones, that would be enough to make it worth losing weight because messing with your hormones will completely destroy your entire body.
Now, some people will say that being fat does increase your risk for certain health issues, which may or may not be true.
Of course it's true. You know it's unhealthy. You know you can't climb a rope.
However, what nobody talks about is what is the indicator for high blood pressure, heart disease, high cholesterol in thin people. If being fat is an indicator that you could have high cholesterol, high blood pressure, heart disease, then what is the indicator for thin people?
That their diet is garbage. You can have all of those same problems that an obese person has while you're thin, and it comes down to your diet. If you eat a bunch of sugar and garbage crap food all the time, but somehow you stay thin, I guarantee you're still not healthy. You know how there's all these overweight people who are like, I got this one friend, they eat all this garbage and blah, 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 and they never gain weight. Okay? They're still unhealthy inside. If you eat a bunch of sugar, processed carbs, and chemicals all the time, even if somehow you manage to stay thin, you're incredibly unhealthy on the inside. So if they have high cholesterol and all these other nonsense things, you should take a look at their diet. And that's also why I completely disagree with the idea that all calories are equal. That's not true at all. If you ate a diet that was just sugar, every day you consumed 1,500 calories of sugar, right? That's a low enough caloric intake to make you lose weight, but your body is going to be in terrible shape. Your arteries are going to be hardened from all that sugar, and if you're eating processed carbs, all the other things that come with that, the high blood pressure, all of these things, hypertension, are going to come with that just because of what you're eating. So you can be thin and be unhealthy as hell at the same time by eating nothing but processed food and sugar.
And if we haven't figured that out yet, how do we not know that the very same thing that causes heart disease, high blood pressure, etc., in thin people is not also the same thing that causes it in fat people?
It is. It's your diet that causes that. So when you look at an obese person, you can tell right away this person consumes way too much processed food and sugar. You can just see that by looking at their physique. I can see it right there. There it is. With a thin person, it'll be harder to diagnose what their problem is because they look thin. So now we got to do some labs on you. See what the deal is. You didn't mention to me, Jill, that you consume nothing but sugar 24/7. Okay? You're in a caloric deficit every day, but the food that you do eat is nothing but sugar. So you can both have similar conditions because of your diet, but you have it worse because you have all this excess adipose tissue as well, which is hormonally active.
It's like the medical complex just decided that.
Like, if I see an obese person, I know that they have all those medical problems. Whereas if I see a thin person, I wouldn't know that until I examine their diet. That's the difference.
Being fat was unhealthy, and that was the answer to everything. So now we don't know why our thin brothers and sisters and others have high blood pressure and high cholesterol.
It's your diet. It's 100% diet. Your blood pressure and cholesterol obviously come from diet, my friend.
and heart disease. When thin people have those issues, they're just unlucky.
Nothing happens by chance on this planet, okay? Nobody's just lucky. If thin people have those myriad of problems, it's because they're eating unhealthily, but they're not eating unhealthily as much as you, so you can't see it as much. But they have the same condition as you, poor diet. That's the condition that you have. It's poor diet. It's all within your control.
Do you see the point I'm trying to make here?
I see the point you're trying to make, but I disagree wholeheartedly. Just because thin people can have high cholesterol as well, that doesn't mean that being obese is not unhealthy. Hey, thin people have some of the same problems that we have, therefore we're just as healthy as thin people.
But those are the questions that nobody wants to ask or answer because we've been so programmed to think thin equals good and healthy, and fat equals bad and unhealthy. So when you can tell me what it is that gives thin people the exact same diseases that fat people get, like maybe then I'd start to understand and believe what the obsession is with someone not being thin. But until then, leave me and my homies alone.
When you and your homies upload videos online proclaiming ridiculous things like this, people are going to make reaction content to it. I mean, look, I'm making a reaction video to it right now. So your position is that, hey, thin people get some of the same medical problems that obese people do. Therefore, these conditions are not exclusive to obese people. Therefore, they have nothing to do with the fact that we are obese. But you're neglecting the fact that it has everything to do with your diet. As I said before, if you consume nothing but sugar and processed carbs, they're going to have all the same medical problems that you have while not being obese, unless they happen to consume those things in a caloric surplus. So today we've learned a little bit about how they don't hold their tongues in Bulgaria. If you are overweight and you go for a massage in Bulgaria, they might call you fat or something. Just a little warning for you. If you live in the United States and you think that people are violently fat-phobic towards you, try going to a foreign country where people are actually honest, and then you'll learn what fat phobia really is. We also took a look at some content from a brand new creator on TikTok. I'm sure we'll be revisiting her again. Anyway, that about does it. Thanks for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.